finals, but it's some 61 years since the engravers were last required to etch Preston's name on the trophy. It is, as ever, an opportunity for journeymen to embark on the trip of a lifetime. Preston's elusive winger David Ayres will be 35 next month, but always reserves his best for the cup. He scored more goals in this competition than the entire Arsenal team put together. Ayres plays as part of a straight 4-4-2 formation. Sean Gregan in midfield should have a good set to with Patrick Vieira. Murdoch and Macken were plucked from Manchester United's reserves. Only 6 of these Arsenal players took part in last May's final. The list of injured internationals now numbers 6. Dennis Bergkamp nearly made it, but without him and without Anelka, the attack looks decidedly threadbare. Luis Boamorte's partner is the German-born Portuguese Alberto Mendes, at best a 4th choice. It's only his 10th appearance for the club, but by far his most important. And watching on, 76 years young, Preston North End's most famous former player, and now the club president, Sir Tom Finney. 4th in the second division against 4th in the Premiership on the 4th of January, which is a bad day historically for Arsenal. 2 of their most embarrassing cup defeats at Northampton and Wrexham occurred on this date in years gone by. That's an offside flag. It's some 20 years since Preston last knocked out a top-flight team in this competition, and with me tonight is a man whose father also played for Preston and whose sister and niece both work at the club, so it's little wonder that Mark Lawrenson got in for free.
I would imagine when the Preston players look at the team sheet tonight, John, they'll have seen no Adams, no Winterbourne, no Bergkamp, no Anelka, and they think, well, we'll never get a better chance of beating Arsenal, but I think they only have to look at the 4 midfield players which Arsenal can throw in front of them, who are the real backbone of the Arsenal side, and the 4 that Preston have to overcome to win the game tonight.
Murdoch. Macken's header onto Nogan. And the cross aimed for Cartwright, and it was Vivas who hooked it away, but not fully. Back in by Nogan. And Rankin arriving for Preston as well, who started this game in very sprightly fashion.
Well, Vivas with his clearance just exacerbated the problem. Tried to clear it right-footed when left would have done.
Gregan to Cartwright. Gregan again, down goes Meninga, who's been under far more pressure than his opposite number as Preston have poured forward in the opening minutes. Yes,
it's certainly a lively start from Preston, certainly the likes of Rankin and Gregan looking to get very, very quick to the midfield players. Good holding up play, simple for Meninga in the end, but good pressure from Preston.
On by Cartwright. Overmars. Jackson was in. They do play it around pleasingly and crisply, Preston, but that went astray and was intercepted by Dixon. Now it's Parler. Boamorte was back on his heels. Gold. Vieira holding off Mark Rankin. And Preston come out on top, and a shot from Nogan. Oh, and Meninga seemed to be caught in 2 minds as to what to do with the ball and nearly stumbled right over the top of it.
Yeah, I think also the ball just bobbled, didn't it, before Meninga had already made his mind up. Good Harrison play as well by Rankin. I thought for a minute the referee Dermot Gallagher might have given a foul. Eventually broke to Nogan. No great power on the shot, and Meninga made it worse than it was.
Gregan. Vivas. Boamorte to Ray Parler. Taking it past Colin Murdoch. First test of the night for David Lucas, and he wasn't found wanting. The England under-20 goalkeeper forced to make the save from Parler.
Yeah, it's a lovely deft header, wasn't it? Straight into Parler's path. I mean, he left Murdoch completely dead, but fortunately for Preston, Lucas was on his toes.
Murdoch to Gregan. Jackson. dangerous game to play with Overmars lurking. Nogan got the merest flick to that, and Cartwright was not short of speed. Drew the foul from Steve Bold. And referee Gallagher wants a word with the veteran Arsenal centre-back.
I'm sure Steve Bold told Dermot Gallagher he got there as quick as he possibly could. Just the faintest of touches from the winger.
No card, just a talking to. Gregan is forward for this, so is Murdoch. And the omnipresent figure of Jackson as well. It took a deflection and was hooked away by Petit. Parkinson. Keown at full stretch. Likewise Petit. Arsenal not getting distance on the clearances. This is Colin Murdoch. Bodies being hurled in all directions. Jackson. Cartwright. Rankin. And Macken appeals for a free kick for a foul on Rankin. Nothing given. Nogan. This is good persistent pressure from Preston North End. Out to Ryan Kidd. Nogan. And back for Kidd. Two waiting for the cross. Ayres couldn't quite make it. And it's in! Kurt Nogan has scored! And Preston's quarter hour of pressure pays off. It's only Nogan's second ever FA Cup goal. But what a time and what a night to score it.
Well, it seemed for a second as though Arsenal were waiting to see if Kidd was offside. He certainly wasn't. Great delivery, great play by Bold initially to stop the ball, and then it flew to Nogan, who just had the simplest attacks and putting Preston in front.
Memories rekindled for Arsenal of uncomfortable occasions at Northampton, at Walsall, at Wrexham and at York, as Kurt Nogan puts Preston North End in front. Petit. Fowler. Concentration will be the watchword from David Moyes to his Preston charges now. This is Overmars. Boumortier available. Petit available as well. And here's Parler with time to measure it. Deflected and just wide. Only just wide by the looks of it as well.
Well, just for a second, as Parler hit it, Lucas is completely stranded. I think it struck Murdoch, and it's one of those goals. It's going to be, when it's going to be your night, it doesn't go in.
Bold near post. Vieira on the goal line. Keown by the penalty spot. Petit just beyond. Boumortier's kick. Parkinson's header out. Dixon. Gregan lunged and didn't make contact. Well, Preston are buoyant at this moment. This is Jonathan Macken. Petit back to Meninga. And now it's Nelson Vivas, who's getting a first taste of the FA Cup. Not an impressive one so far. Gregan. And for Cartwright. Vivas was hemmed in.
I think Vivas' problem, John, he's just come out for a walk in the park. He doesn't realise it's the FA Cup. He doesn't realise it's about the passion.
I don't think the Argentine version carries quite the same cachet.
I don't think so.
Parkinson's throw. Bolds, still not away. Macken. Well, it seemed to hit Keown. Petit was in there trying to block as well, but I think it was Keown that diverted it behind.
Yes, it certainly was. Again, another scramble in the Arsenal goal mouth. They've got lots of bodies in there. And Macken eventually with the shot, and Bowl and Keown just throwing himself in the way.
Incessant noise around this famous old ground. Oh, it's in again! And it's Nogan again! Amazing scenes at Deepdale. The cup holders, 2 down in 21 minutes, and both goals scored by Kurt Nogan, the Welshman.
Well, it's just the simplest of goals, away from the corner. Meninga's come, he's missed it completely. I know he's hampered, he wasn't fouled, and there was Nogan completely unmarked at the far post, again with the simplest of tasks. You don't score goals like that against Arsenal too often.
Dixon. Parler. Oh, a shot that Lucas turned aside well for a corner.
Well, that's 3 occasions now that Parler have got himself free. It's a problem for Preston. It's a good save by Lucas.
The big guns are up again for the Gunners, including Vieira, but that's aimed towards Bold with the header. Up to Parler. Overmars. All the tall men still up there. Petit swung at it once, didn't make good contact, and then on his right foot, didn't really threaten. And here's Rankin through the middle. Oh, he couldn't gather the ball in his stride. He was onside. Still, the chance hasn't entirely gone. Nogan's lurking, thinking about a hat-trick. Flag is up this time.
It's a goal again, isn't it? I think the argument may be from Arsenal's point of view. Was Meninga interfered with? There's a run from Nogan which nobody picked up, which, as I said, very unusual from Arsenal's point of view. They'd only so rock solid defending those set pieces.
Parler to Boamorte. Overmars is through the centre this time. Trying to go round Murdoch. The referee says goal kick. Well, Dermot Gallagher was met with a hail of penalty appeals in an FA Cup tie he took charge of at the Dell, Southampton and Fulham, on Saturday, and he said no to most of those, and tonight he said no again.
Well, I think he's been very, very kind to Preston there. For me, it's a penalty. Definitely been caught, Boamorte, by the tackle from the lunging tackle from Murdoch.
Macken trying to atone for losing the ball. This is Boamorte, and now Overmars. Plenty of runners with him. Back with Boamorte, shaped as if to shoot, might still do so. Down he goes. That's a penalty, surely. But the referee has said no, and he said goal kick. He was standing over the penalty spot and pointed towards it, but in fact he was pointing towards the goal. And Luis Boamorte looked immediately round at the official.
I think the official got it right this time. I think Boamorte was playing for the penalty. I'm not sure that Murdoch actually touched him.
If he did, it was just the toe of his left boot, but Dermot Gallagher said no again. Boamorte. Mendes lost it to Gregan. This is Rankin. Parkinson. Hoisted in hope for Nogan. Keown didn't initially make the best fist of that. Murdoch. Oh, Jackson's header hit his own man, and Mendes surges through. 2 in the penalty area. Kidd said no way past. Boamorte. Away from Murdoch, and it's in. Arsenal have pulled one back at a fairly crucial time in the final minutes of the first half.
Well, all credit to Boamorte. He worked the goal for himself. He spun Murdoch. I know it got a deflection past Lucas, but at least on that occasion he did something that was more direct, more than he's done in the first half altogether, and that will just really lift Arsenal's spirits as they go into the break.
I think it came off Gregan. David Moyes preparing his thoughts for the most important half-time team talk he'll yet have delivered in his brief managerial career. Here's Gregan. Gallagher has consulted his watch and blows the half-time whistle. Well, it's not as bad as it might have been thanks to Luis Boamorte's goal for Arsenal, but it's still not looking good for the cup holders, in whose dressing room the half-time team talk will be curt. In Preston's dressing room, they'll be talking about a brace of goals by Kurt. Kurt Nogan has scored twice, and Preston North End lead the cup holders Arsenal by 2 goals to 1 at the midway point of an enthralling third-round FA Cup tie. No changes to either side at half-time. Preston scenting a famous FA Cup victory. They've had a few down the years, but not from their current station in the lower half of the Football League. This would rank as one of their very biggest scalps, probably the biggest since they beat Spurs here way back in 1966. Just a question of whether the Arsenal goal by Boamorte just prior to half-time will have taken some of the wind from their sails. Jackson, who slid in. Logan's off in hot pursuit. Bold had a 5-yard start. Oh, not good by Meninga. And side netting off Nogan. You lucky chap. And in his case, not so lucky.
Well, Nogan did remarkably well because he just chased Bold into the corner flag, and it was just an instant reaction, and well, you could see the expression on Meninga's face, certainly, if not on David Moyes' face.
Overmars. Boamorte, Arsenal looking much more threatening now. Overmars for a second time through the legs of Rankin. And the shot, and a good save. Had a long way to go to his right and a long way down.
Certainly the save of the game. This is what as he does so brilliantly. Overmars engineers the space.
David Lucas is in for a busy time. Petit, Bold, Vieira, Boamorte, Keown and Overmars all inside the penalty area. Ayres tried to curve the ball beyond Vivas. Nogan was waiting. Bold. Gregan to Nogan. This is good play. To Cartwright. Macken's waiting in the middle. Meninga got a hand to it and then onto the bar. The referee has actually given a goal kick, but I'm sure that should have been a corner. Because when Cartwright delivered it, and you can see him having a word with the linesman on the far side, the initial thought was that Meninga actually got a vital touch on the ball before it hit the bar.
Yes, most certainly touched it. Most certainly touched it. I can only imagine that obviously Mr. Gallagher never saw it or just turned away at the vital moment. I don't think Meninga's looked like the heir apparent to David Seaman tonight, certainly.
Ayres turning away from trouble, he hopes. Now Kidd. Kidd felt the full force of the challenge from Ray Parlour. Macken to Nogan. Back with Macken.
Macken. Good hit Petit. And now Overmars for Arsenal with space to run into. Still Overmars. It's a great run. What's the referee given here? And he sent the Preston man off for a start. That's the first thing. Question is, was it inside or outside the box? And I believe McGallagher says it was outside. All sorts of shirt pulling and shenanigans going on in the wall. Petit, and that was absolutely superb. It was in from the moment he struck it, and from being 2 down, Arsenal have pulled themselves back level and are going to play against 10 men for the last half hour. Keown. Dixon rather wearily forward. And again. Arsenal certainly having by far the greater possession. Can they find a winning goal? No offside here. There's Boamorte. Nice trick. And must be from Petit, and is. And Emmanuel Petit gets his second of the game. Arsenal's third. And they've come from 2 down, and surely now, against the 10 men of brave Preston, they've booked their place in the 4th round. Parr just gets a toe in. to set Dixon going down the right here. Good ball too. Bermorty looks full of running still. Dummy by Overmars. Here's Overmars, and that is a really excellent finish. There was a cute dummy in front of him. He took his time and buried it in the corner. He doesn't often hit the ball that hard, Overmars. It's all precision and placement. It's Cavallero's dummy, in fact, and Overmars with a really neat finish.
That result's good news for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They now receive Arsenal in round 4, and several other nationwide clubs face Premiership opposition. Stockport's win over Bury brings a trip to Sheffield Wednesday. Portsmouth could rake in some much-needed cash if Leeds get past Rushden and Diamonds, and the same applies for Oxford United, looking forward to a clash with Chelsea. First Division Manager of the Month, Paul Jewell, takes his Bradford team to Newcastle. Fulham will go to Villa if they get past Southampton, while Sunderland away at Blackburn's an enticing prospect. Swansea will entertain Derby if they see off West Ham, and Ipswich should be in with a chance of a shock at Everton. All those ties to be played the weekend of January the 23rd.